Thursday, October 1st. The despisers of authority. Some people are considered natural students in the classroom. They barely need to study to make excellent grades. They absorb material easily. Their knowledge seems to stick. 2 Peter 1 and 2, however, make it evident that our education in Christ is an equal opportunity experience for those who will dedicate themselves to Him. The encouraging words of 2 Peter 1 contrast with the sobering warning in 2 Peter 2. Read 2 Peter 2 1-17. What powerful and condemning words is Peter saying here? At the same time, amid this sharp warning and condemnation, what great hope is promised to us. 2 Peter 2 1-17. But there were also false prophets among the people, even as there will be false teachers among you, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies, even denying the Lord who bought them, and bring on themselves swift destruction. 2 And many will follow their destructive ways, because of whom the way of truth will be blasphemed. 3 By covetousness they will exploit you with deceptive words, for a long time their judgment has not been idle, and their destruction does not slumber. 4 For if God did not spare the angels who sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved for judgment. 5 And did not spare the ancient world, but saved Noah, one of 8 people, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood on the world of the ungodly. 6 And turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them to destruction, making them an example to those who afterward would live ungodly. 7 And delivered righteous Lot, who was oppressed by the filthy conduct of the wicked. 8 For that righteous man, dwelling among them, tormented his righteous soul from day to day by seeing and hearing their lawless deeds. 9 Then the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the unjust under punishment for the day of judgment. 10 And especially those who walk according to the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise authority. They are presumptuous, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignitaries. 11 Whereas angels, who are greater in power and might, do not bring a reviling accusation against them before the Lord. 12 But these, like natural brute beasts made to be caught and destroyed, speak evil of the things they do not understand, and will utterly perish in their own corruption. 13 And will receive the wages of unrighteousness, as those who count it pleasure to carouse in the daytime. They are spots and blemishes, carousing in their own deceptions while they feast with you. 14 Having eyes full of adultery and that cannot cease from sin, enticing unstable souls. They have a heart trained in covetous practices, and are accursed children. 15 They have forsaken the right way and gone astray, following the way of Balaam the son of Beor, who loved the wages of unrighteousness. 16 But he was rebuked for his iniquity, a dumb donkey speaking with a man's voice restrained the madness of the prophet. 17 These are wells without water, clouds carried by a tempest, for whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Notice what Peter writes in verse 10 about those who despise authority. What a sharp rebuke for what is a reality in our day, as well. We as a church body must work on the assumption of certain levels of authority, see Hebrews 13:7, 17, 24, and we are called to submit to and obey them, at least to the degree that they are being faithful to the Lord themselves. However, amid this harsh condemnation, Peter offers a counterpoint. He says that although God is mighty to cast out those who chose deception, the Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations. 2 Pet. 2-9, NKJV. Is it possible that part of our education in Christianity is not only avoiding temptation but also learning the many ways that God can and does deliver us from it, as well as help guard us against those, Peter warns, who will secretly bring in destructive heresies? 2 Pet. 2-1, NKJV. And, since the despising of authority is so condemned, shouldn't our Christian education also consist of learning the right way to understand, submit, and obey those who rule over you? Hebrews 13:7, NKJV. Though one could not say that Adam and Eve despised authority, in the end they chose to disobey that authority. And what made their transgression so bad was that they did it in response to a blatant contradiction of what that authority, God Himself, had told them, and who had done so for their own good, as well. Dwell more on this question of authority, not just in the church or in the family, but in life in general. Why is authority, both the proper exercise of authority and the proper submission to it, so important? Bring your answers to class on Sabbath. By Adult Sabbath School Guide.